Hey, what's up, guys? John here. Something very big is happening with the US dollar. If we look at what's going on overseas right now, we're witnessing something massive. Some huge change, structural change, is going to occur with us losing the reserve currency status. This is my belief over the next 7 years. As this whole thing kind of plays out, I mean, we have to play this thing very, very intelligently. I think over the next 2 to 3 years, the dollar is going to be very strong. This isn't going to be something that's going to happen overnight, but I'm going to connect the dots here because you can see how this thing's going to play out. We are losing our authority as a reserve currency. This is going to happen, in my opinion, without doubt. This will happen. So position yourself, because as all this change occurs, you're going to want dollars in the short term to be able to invest, and you're going to want to position yourself for all this change. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's going on. So please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube's going to share this content to educate more people about what's really going on. And if you need help fixing your credit, we'd love to help you at greatcreditfast.com. We specialize in helping new investors improve their credit score, removing charge-offs, late payments, things on their reports, so that they can position themselves for the best financing. You can give us a call at 561-430-5900. Take a look at this. So this just came out 2 days ago. Biden's past remarks of funding Ukrainian pensions. Now, they say that this video is from April 2022. It went super viral, like uber viral. Everyone's talking about it, where he's basically saying U.S. taxpayers should be funding pensions over in Ukraine. But fascinatingly, we've already sent over $113 billion to Ukraine. And it stirred up resentment among citizens, particularly as the country grapples with the potential depletion of Social Security by 2030. So, or mid-2030s. So about 10 years, give or take, 10, 12 years. They're saying that we will not have money for Social Security. So what happens to all these people that are dependent on Social Security, right? That have funded and paid into Social Security? What's going to happen with all this money? It's the big question. A big problem is coming. Right, a lot of people think that what we're stepping into is like a short-term correction. I hear people and see people talking about on social media, got to buy the dip, everything's going to go back up. To me, it signals like we're not going into a dip. We're stepping into a restructuring of this economy. We're stepping into something very, very big. And we need to pay attention to everything. Just because things happened in the past, where we had these small corrections and big upswings, does not mean that that's going to happen again in the future. Says the video originates the speech Biden delivered on April 28, 2022, urging Congress to approve the $33 billion aid for Ukraine. But this came out, 2 days ago. 2 days ago it came out. And this number, 113 billion, is a pretty big number. But that number just changed by another 10 billion. This just came out today, just a couple hours ago. About 2 hours ago. Janet Yellen says that the United States readies another $10 billion in economic assistance. Yellen speaking at a news conference in India on the eve of the first anniversary of Russia's invasion said it's critical for the IMF to move swiftly towards fully financing loan programs for Ukraine. As President Biden has said, we will stand with Ukraine in its fight for as long as it takes. Well, for the first year, it's already been 123 billion. 123 billion. You start to, we're sending, what are we sending, 30 million, 40 million a day? And this is substantial. And we start to look at the state of the U.S. American right now. We're the lowest savings rate we've had in decades. We're stepping into this $16.9 trillion consumer debt bubble. We're sending so much money overseas, and we can't take care of our own people, right? Like this on this channel, I talk about personal finance, real estate, business, and money. This isn't like a political statement. It's simply saying we should be able, as a country, to be able to, support ourselves. Our tax revenue should be to fund ourselves. And as we step into this situation and we start to look at what's occurring, we have to ask ourselves, well, if we're investing the dollar and we're buying stocks and we're, saving money for the long term, if the dollar does lose the authority of being the reserve currency, what does that dollar then represent, right? How much will we see this dollar fall? And we start to see, other big headlines like this came out today. Iraq's plan for yuan settlement adds growing de-dollarization trend against the U.S. dollar hegemony. Right? Iraq is reporting pivoting to Chinese yuan to settle imports from China. Analysts said that the move sets a good example for other developing countries that have been victims of the U.S. dollar's hegemony. The Central Bank of Iraq said on Wednesday it plans to allow trade from China to be settled in yuan. We're starting to see this happen more and more. You have to ask yourself, if you were another country, like if you right now were another country, and you were using the dollar as the global reserve currency, and you saw what the United States did to another country, whether you agreed or didn't agree with it, you just witnessed it, you'd probably ask yourself, hey, maybe they would have a disagreement with me. Maybe they would not like us for some reason or disagree with us on a stance, and maybe they would cut us off of SWIFT, or maybe they would do something else. And so you'd ask yourself, why would I put all my eggs in one basket? Why not diversify? Why not kind of spread out some risk? And we're starting to see other countries do this right now. And as this situation unfolds, I mean, this is not going to be good for America, right? Because if you look at what America was 50 years ago, 100 years ago, it was a country in which, I mean, we produced a lot of fossil fuels and gas. We produced a lot of, like bedroom sets, furniture, like car parts. I mean, everything. Everything was basically made in America. And then over the last 50 years, that's changed greatly. And now America, it's not the same country that it was back then. And so as we lose a reserve currency, this could be a huge problem, a very, very, very big problem. Right now, it says the BRICS nations have previously declared the intention to create a shared payment network. The network would decrease the reliance on Western financial systems. Additionally, they've been utilizing local currencies more often in trade. Said this is not an easy task. The roadmap for the gradual increase of the share of national currencies in mutual settlements. Therefore, I do not think that this process will be accelerated, but the intention is serious. The dollar may be ahead right now, but the slow and steady tortoise wins the race. And that's what I think as well. I think the dollar is going to be ahead for the time being, next 1 to 3 years possibly. But then after that, we're going to be stepping into a situation where this dollar is going to start to lose value. I think a lot faster than people are prepared for. This came out last year. So last year, November 9th, 2022, this is before all these other countries started applying to be in BRICS. They said if accepted, with just what happened back then, if accepted, and when I say what happened, I mean the countries that have applied pre this article being published, November 9th, 2022, they said that the BRICS members would create an entity with a GDP 30% larger than America, 50% of the global population, and in control of 60% of global gas reserves. So you look at countries like Russia, India, South Africa, China. You start to look at all these other countries as well that are applying to join. I mean, they're going to control the minerals. They're going to control the energy. They're going to control the people. They're going to control the brain power. If you look at India, for example, it's a lot of STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, math. You start to look at all these other countries. They're hardworking, ambitious. They have a lower cost of living. All of these things are going to be working in their favor when it comes to production. And so they're going to be able to produce things at a much, much lower price. They're going to be able to price things based on their own currency, so it seems, which is going to be a big problem for America. If we have a high cost of living, we have a tremendous debt load that we expect other countries to fund, and they say, no, we're not going to fund it. I mean, that's obviously going to be a bad situation for America. The diplomat added that among the applicants, 2 African nations, Algeria and Egypt, and this came out about a month ago, while Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain, and the UAE have also formalized their desire to join. So just more and more and more countries are joining. Also emphasized that all BRICS members welcome possible newcomers and recalled that South Africa joined in 2010. South Africa joined in 2010, and since then the bloc has not been expanded. The idea of incorporating new members raised by China last May, and after that, several countries, including Argentina, have showed a willingness to join the association of BRICS group. Is an informal intergovernmental economic trade association of 5 rapidly developing countries which aims to develop dialogue and multilateral cooperation. BRICS countries poised to accelerate, or they want to eradicate global hunger and poverty by 2030. That date is very distinctual. Everything is 2030, right? It's 7 years. That's why I think short-term dollar is going to probably be strong. 2025, 2026, 2027, I think everything's going to start to shift. It just makes the most sense. And I mean, this is absolutely crazy. What do you think about this? Because a lot of people always save dollars. They can't imagine this type of change. And so everything just seems, far out there, a theory, it's not going to happen. But when you just look and you read, I read a really good quote many years ago. It says, smart people see things for how they really are, and everyone else sees things for how they really want them to be. And when I take in new information, if I find information that goes against what my current beliefs are, but that information seems more logical, more correct, I will quickly change my opinion. And I mean, that's what intelligent people do. They're quick to change their opinion if they're supplied with better information. The information that's supplied, that we're seeing happen to the global economy, is indicating that massive change is coming for the dollar and massive change is coming for America. What do you think about it? Drop below, hit the like button, subscribe here. If you need help fixing your credit, we'd love to help you again at greatcreditfast.com. You can give us a call at 561-430-5900. You can follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok for short form content. Catch you guys in the next video.